Well, Mike?
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good.
So I don't know if I'll be able to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Probably by the time I get up and sit down, the meeting would be over because I just got the hip replacement 2 weeks ago. So,
I think there's an exemption for that.
so just to let you know. Okay. I could try it, but I just, like I said, it'd be early Friday morning by the time I sit down.
Thursday go well, Mike. Everything good? You ready to run a marathon?
Yeah, everything went really smooth. I'm really amazed, like what they do and then how they do it, and really how much. There's not that much pain associated with it. It's a little discomfort, but not a lot of pain. And it's just basically now it's just kind of teaching myself how to walk again and kind of trust that leg. But it's, yeah, I feel good.
Right.
And it's only been 2 weeks. So I can imagine what it's going to be, 2 weeks from now, or 2 months and stuff. It's going to be a lot better. And the one thing I noticed, like right away, that the pain's not there in the hip anymore. The aching, like kind of catching pain. It's a different type of pain, but it's not the same. So this pain is going away.
Good. Well, it is 7 o'clock, and we do have a quorum of commissioners. So I'll call the meeting to order, November 12th, 2020, regular meeting of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners. And has Marie joined us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And I've asked Marie if she would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. So I'll please rise and either face the flag or face east.
For the flag of the United States
of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with
with liberty and justice for all.
for all.
Thank you, Marie. Bridget, would you call the roll, please?
President Riley,
Here.
Vice President King,
Here.
Commissioner Carlson, Commissioner Egan,
He's muted.
You're muted, Bill.
Commissioner Janner,
Present.
Commissioner McBroom,
Here.
Commissioner Todd. Here.
Next item on the agenda is matters from the public. Bridget, do we have anyone signed up to speak?
We do not.
Okay. We'll move on to updates and reports. Riverwalk Commission, Commissioner McBroom.
No, well, just briefly, I think everyone's up to speed. The Riverwalk Commission received the Park District endorsement and the city of Naperville, and forming a committee now and focusing on fundraising. That's it.
Thank you. Next, we have Parks Foundation, Commissioner Janner.
No report on that one.
Finance Committee, Vice President King.
Yes, the Finance Committee met on Friday, October 9th. The staff presented an overview of the 2020 projected operating results and highlights from the 2021 budget draft. A detailed presentation of the 2021 budget will occur on a special virtual board meeting to be held on Tuesday, November 17th at 6:30 p.m. The proposed budget and appropriation ordinance, along with the 2020 tax levy ordinance, will be included on the December 10th, 2020 agenda for board consideration. The committee reviewed the results of the RFP for audit services along with the staff. The committee is recommending that Skitch LLP to provide audit services for the district on tonight's agenda for board's approval. The next Finance Committee meeting is scheduled for December 11th at 9 a.m.
Thank you. Next, we have the Legislative Committee in lieu of Commissioner Carlson. Vice President King, is there a report for Legislative Committee?
No, there is not this time.
Okay, thank you.
No report.
Next is the Parks and Recreation Committee, Commissioner Janner.
Thank you, President Riley. The Parks and Recreation Committee met on Friday, October 16th at 10:30 a.m. Director Wilson updated the committee during that meeting that he has been in discussions with the 95th Street Center property manager to reduce the overall footprint at the property. He intends to bring a lease amendment to the full board for consideration before year end. Director Stanish provided the 2021 budget overview to the committee, including information regarding personnel, the 2020 tax levy, and a financial summary and highlights by fund. The full presentation will take place at the budget workshop meeting, which is November 17th, for approval at the December 10th regular meeting. The planning department recently submitted the 2021 capital budget for inclusion in the 2021 Naperville Park District budget, also to be presented at the Tuesday, November 17th Park Board meeting. Director Wilson further updated that the garden plots have closed for the season, with volunteers gleaning 760 pounds of produce donated through local food banks. The Halloween Nights Lights drive-through event replaced Halloween Happening, as you know, and sold out on the first day of registration. It was extended to accommodate more residents. The youth basketball program currently has over 80 participating teams registered for practices and intra-team scrimmages, and registration at that time had just begun for the indoor soccer program to be held at Naperville Yard. The district will begin preparations for its CAPRA 2021 reaccreditation and will be working to complete and compile documentation in response to new standards, including developing a concussion policy and updating recreation programming plan for board consideration. Director Carlson shared that the golf staff is preparing for annual sales, including the online store for Black Friday, which grossed over $33,000 last year. A selection of passes for rounds, driving range, family golf lessons, gift cards, and merchandise will also be available beginning on November 20th through the holiday season. The annual turkey shoot will take place on the weekend of November 21st and 22nd, with modifications to comply with safety protocols. Director Quigley reported that Parks divisions have transitioned to fall season maintenance tasks. And finally, Director Luthman provided highlights of the sponsorship recap for Q3 of 2020, pointing out that despite disruptions and canceled events due to the pandemic, the program has done relatively well, bringing in just shy of $20,000 in sponsorship revenue. The Parks and Recreation Committee meets on the third Friday of each month, so the next one will be November 20th at 10:30 a.m. at Fort Hill. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jenner. Next is the President's report. I deliver this report tonight as we begin to enter the holiday season during a pandemic. Diwali begins this Saturday, then Thanksgiving, and on to Hanukkah and Christmas. Under normal circumstances, these would be great opportunities for family and friends to gather and catch up on what transpired since the last big get-together. We all know we're not operating under normal circumstances, but we still have a need to connect. So as family and friends look for innovative ways to congregate, implore them to keep the Naperville Park District in mind. With 137 parks in the system, there must be at least a few that people haven't visited yet. The new partially opened Wolf's Crossing Park in Southwest Naperville is a beautiful facility of over 30 acres with some innovative features, including a 1.4-mile trail, a challenge course, and since yesterday was Veterans Day, I have to mention our pull-up bars for patriots. Parks offer the opportunity to socialize and exercise in a socially distant manner in the fresh air. The 2020 holiday season seems like a great time to take advantage of what they have to offer. Next, we have our Executive Director's report.
Thank you, Commissioner Riley, or President Riley. I've got a few items for the board this evening. The Naperville Park District's 14th annual Pennies for Pies donation drive continues through November 20th. We encourage our community members to be a part of this annual tradition and make a donation of any amount to help provide pumpkin pies for residents in need through Loaves and Fishes Community Services Thanksgiving Dinner Initiative. Donate online at napervilleparks.org or stop by the Fort Hill Activity Center or Springbrook or Naperbrook golf courses to drop off cash donations. Your generosity will help make Thanksgiving a little brighter for our fellow community members. Our final scheduled golf event for 2020 is the annual Turkey Shoot Tournament on November 21st and 22nd at both Springbrook and Naperbrook golf courses. Online registration will be open this Saturday, November 14th at 8 a.m. Each course will offer a cross-country turkey shoot golf event that will accommodate teams of 5 golfers each. Special thanks to Belgio's Catering, Sharpwood Barbecue, and Jewel Osco for their support of the 2020 turkey shoot. Visit golfnaperville.org for event and registration details. Make this holiday season even more special for your child with a personal phone call from Santa or Mrs. Claus. Each child will be addressed by name and have an opportunity to talk about their Christmas wish list. Registration opens Monday, November 30th at 8:30 a.m. Calls will take place over 3 days from December 8th through 10th in the afternoon or evening. Santa's hotline is free, but there's a limited number of spots available, so be sure to register early. For more information, visit napervilleparks.org/Santa's hotline. Pickleball continues to grow in popularity in Naperville, as we all know, and pickleball players can enjoy playing outdoors at 2 new locations this year, Knott Park and Wolf's Crossing Community Park, in addition to existing courts at Nike Sports Complex, DuPage River Park, and Ranch Shoe Park. With temperatures falling, we also have an indoor pickleball option at the Fort Hill Activity Center with court rentals available. Groups of 4 pickleball players can rent a court for 60 minutes for $20 for residents or $30 for non-residents. Face coverings are required. Visit napervilleparks.org to view available times and make a reservation. And finally, mark your calendar for 2 important upcoming dates. On December 2nd, the Winter 2021 Program Guide will be available online only at napervilleparks.org/program guides. Program offerings can be previewed there in anticipation of online registration that will begin on December 7th. Please note that in addition to traditional in-person programs, we also continue to add to our virtual programs category. So be sure to take a look and see what's new. That's what I have for tonight's report.
Thank you. It was a lot of information. Next on our agenda is a resolution to establish an estimate of funds to be raised by taxation for the 2020 levy.
Move to approve resolution 20-10, establish estimate of funds to be raised by taxation for the 2020 levy year.
Second.
Motion and second by Todd. Director Standish, do you have any comments you'd like to make?
Sure, I'll just mention that this is an annual requirement. It is not the approval of our tax levy. It is just an estimate of the taxes to be raised that you would be approving in December. Just a couple things to note as far as our process goes this year, which we've talked about on several occasions through prior meetings or prior committee meetings, that we are following our normal process of levying taxes, including CPI and new growth. And then our plan is to file that levy and then abate our taxes down to the aggregate levy that we had last year. So while in this resolution, you're seeing a 3.6% estimated increase in taxes, come February, when we abate back, the plan is for the 2021 budget, we will be holding our ask and our taxes flat. We'll be talking about this in more detail also in the budget workshop on the 17th.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Regan.
First, a question for Sue. An abatement. So basically, we would be giving taxes back in the final official vote, if you will. I know I'm not saying that correctly, but keeping it in layman's terms. The following year, is that abatement come back, or do you have to do it again to keep taxes flat? Said another way, is this not a PR move to give everybody the saying, hey, we're going to give you back 500 grand this year, but in effect, you can grab it again the following year?
I wouldn't at all call this, if you're asking, a PR move. The process, and we vetted this through with all of our independent professionals on the best way to do this. We are, in essence, preserving our extension base for future years and to give the board the decision every year of what they want to do with taxes. So this is a 1-year reduction in the taxes we're asking for, a 1-year abatement. So it does not carry forward through next year. For the 2022 budget, we'll be evaluating where we are, what CPI is, what new growth is, what our needs are going to be at that time. And at that time, we'll be having the same discussion for the 2022 budget. But to be clear, this abatement and the process that we're proposing is a 1-year abatement to the debt service levy line item. So it doesn't have a long-term compounding impact on our taxable base going forward year to year.
Thank you.
Commissioner McBroom?
I wasn't done, Mike, or do you want to let him go and then we come back?
Yeah, if we could go to Josh first, please.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm supportive of the tax abatement as it's been outlined by Sue and in the budget. As you know, I voted against the tax levy last year. I do think the message to taxpayers is that we should be attempting to take as little as possible. And my rationale for voting against the tax levy last year was if we didn't ask for that tax levy, would we maintain our AAA bond rating? And if that's the case, why would we be asking for more? So I definitely understand this argument that there is a ripple effect. Now, you know, on the flip side of that, you could say that that's incentive to, you know, maintain a tighter budget. But I mean, I think we do a very good job in general. I mean, we're you know, Sue does a great job. Our finance committee does a great job. I don't think I have the support on this board to pass a vote against the levy, but I think this is a good solution. You know, again, there is some validity to that ripple effect down the road. I think all the commissioners need to understand what that is. And I'll take the abatement and then, you know, then you don't have that ripple effect argument. And each year you make that decision whether or not you want to abate or not. So I'm supportive of it. I think it's I don't think it's a PR move, but it does send a message that we're trying to take as little from the taxpayer as we can and still maintain the high level of service that we're providing.
Okay. Commissioner Egan?
So I find it interesting, and allow me to read a paragraph or a bullet point that's in the memo. The levy request is estimated at a higher amount than what we expect to receive in order to capture a new valuation growth at the time the levy ordinance is approved. New construction and final EAV numbers are not known. This is done as a means to ensure that taxes are equitably spread across all new construction district-wide. I object to that characterization because mathematically, when you spread that, my taxes go up. And I've proven mathematically, and I'll prove it again this year, on the millions and millions of dollars that the Park District, and then this goes across all taxing agencies, I realize, that have taken additional dollars by leaning on this compounding effect, which is in effect has afforded 4% raises, has allowed IMRF to drop their funding rate to drive up the employer portion. And to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mike King, the legislative committee has not taken on anything to say the employee portion should be going up to offset some of that cost. So it's a tax and spend strategy, which I do not support. I come from a Six Sigma mentality. Prove what you need, do your fish bones, and drive what you can prove. This is, I'm taking as much as I can because I can. And oh, by the way, I'm going to give you guys a little token, $500,000 this year. And I appreciate the effort. We could have been doing that all of these years. And if you do it again next year, maybe even pay $1 million. When things go sideways and you don't control it, then all of a sudden the taxpayers get walloped. We need a better solution, so I won't be supporting this. Thank you.
Any other comments? Commissioner Janner?
Sue, can you clarify the last time the Naperville Park District has implemented or executed an abatement?
I'm not aware of us ever abating taxes, at least not in the last 10 years that I've been here. I don't recall.
Yeah, and I've been around that same amount of time, about 10 years, and I don't recall either. So I think this is a step in the right direction for the taxpayer to execute an abatement, which we'll do in February. I think we're moving in the right direction, and I also like the idea of, especially this year, with all that's gone on, who knows what next year will bring. So having this board have the opportunity to make these decisions and on an annual basis, depending on what's going on in the marketplace, what's going on in the community. And so I fully support this direction. Again, it'll be the first abatement once we actually do it in February. Shouldn't put the cart before the horse, but I'm confident the board will. But this will be the first time that this has happened at least in 10 years. And we'd have to, I guess, look back, maybe Commissioner Todd, who's been around longer than the rest of us, or maybe Brad would know when the last time. But again, it's at least been 10 years. So this is a step in the right direction.
Thank you. Any further comments or questions?
Mike,
Yes, Marie.
just to comment on what you said, no, we have not done any data in the past. This is one time that I'm.
You gotta speak up, Ernie. Sorry, it's because of where you are.
What I'd like to note is that when we do the tax levy each year, we're actually only adding a few dollars to a person's tax bill. The park district taxes only go up a few dollars every year. And what that helps to provide is the additional services that we provide. I mean, we brought on Knox Park, we brought on, the whole Fort Hill Center. I mean, all of those things need to be maintained and supported. And one of our mandates from the people is that we need to take care of the things that we own. Recognize, please, that if we just can't continue to abate, because at some point in time we'll get to the point where we can't maintain what we have. So in this year, it makes sense. A lot of people are hurting. We're not going to impact them significantly because our tax, the amount of taxes that we increase is very small compared to what the city or the school district does. But nonetheless, it's an effort to help the taxpayer.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Bridget, take the roll, please.
Vice President King,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
No.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBroom,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yeah. Next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
I need to read them. Item 5.1, approve October 2020 disbursements in the amount of $1,312,602.44. 5.2, approve October 2020 disbursements made to Bank of America Purchasing Card Program in the amount of $254,138.97. 5.3, approve October 2020 FinTech disbursements in the amount of $1,182.85. 5.4, approve October 2020 customer refunds in the amount of $1,477.60. 5.5, approve the proposal and authorize the Director of Finance to execute the engagement letter for audit services from Sigich LLP for the year ended December 31st, 2020. 5.6, approve October 22, 2020 regular meeting minutes. 5.7, approve resolution 20-11, notice of 2021 regular meeting schedule. 5.8, approve the purchase from Dialpac to procure network and hardware infrastructure to replace current network hardware, network connectivity, Wi-Fi connectivity, and phone system capabilities for the administration building and Fort Hill Activity Center for a total cost of $108,038.05. And 5.9, approve contract mowing services for 2021 with Millennium Landscape Inc. for an amount not to exceed $89,700.
Okay, now, are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda to be considered separately? Commissioner Egan?
Does anybody else want to go before me?
No, go.
5.1, 5.3, 5.5.
Okay. Are there any other items to be removed?
I'm sorry, remove 5.8, please.
5.8. Vice President King,
All right, move to accept consent agenda items 5.2, 5.4, 5.6, 5.7, and 5.9.
Second.
Good
we have
job.
motion. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Vice President King,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Aye.
Commissioner Janner,
Commissioner Janner?
You're muted, dude.
Yes.
Commissioner McBroom,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes. Now we'll move to approve the consent agenda items.
Move to approve consent agenda items 5.2, 5.4, 5.6, 5.7, and 5.9.
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion? This could be a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay. So now we go on to unfinished business. So first is item 5.1, Mike.
Yep, move to approve item 5.1.
Second.
Motion and second. Discussion on this motion. Any discussion?
Oh, yeah, sorry, Mike. My standard no vote with the 4% raises highlighted by the overtaxing via the levy estimate tonight, even though we're giving back $500,000, it just substantiates that we should have been doing more previously, and we've been overtaxing at least since I've been on the board the last 8, 9, 10 years.
Any further discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Vice President King,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
No.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBroom,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes.
Move to approve item 5.3.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Commissioner Regan?
My standard no vote to this item, FinTech, is a prepayment of inventory for alcohol beverages, which is demanded by Illinois state law. The underlying issue is we exist for exercise and health. We do not exist to push booze. And I will note again that even in Director McGurry's presentation of the budget, and he had all these fun things, exercise, healthy, and that booze drinking was not one of them. Not something we should be doing. Return the inventory, get a refund. I'll be voting no.
Any further discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Vice President King,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
No.
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBroom,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes.
Okay, move to approve consent agenda item 5.5.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion, Commissioner Regan?
I may have need a little help here from Dirk. I have some comments that are probably most appropriate for closed session on this item. So I would ask that we kind of punt this until after closed session for a final vote. I don't know if there's a motion that I need to make, or is that good enough?
Well, can you help me though, just what's the exemption that we're gonna base it on?
I can't hear you.
What's the exemption though that we're gonna base it on, do you think?
That's a good question. It's not something that should be shared publicly. I could dig around for an exemption. Or we go into close, and if you tell me if it's not good enough, then we don't discuss it and we come back to public.
Yeah, that's probably the safest thing. So, President Riley, I would suggest we table this to after the executive session.
Okay.
Thank
Do
you.
we need a motion to table?
Yes, just to rearrange the agenda after the executive session. That's just a quick, and no, right, you need that.
Okay. All right. Then move on to item 5.8.
You need to
Move
do-
to approve item 5.8.
This wasn't me.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion on the motion, Commissioner McBroom?
Yeah, I don't really have an objection. I just, is this an annual cost? I assume there's a savings here, and I see that there were no other bids on it.
So there were multiple, as stated in the memo, there was multiple companies that we approached to bid this. Because it's specialized equipment, there's only so many partners that are actually able to even sell this per state, per area, etc. And it's not a yearly expense. I usually come to you guys every 4 to 5 years, depending on the life cycle of the equipment and best practices. So this go around, administration building and Fort Hill are up to be replaced. Last year or the year before, we did the other branch sites, and that was also another big purchase that came to the board. So to answer your question, it is not a yearly expense. It's a a capital investment depending on the life cycle of the equipment.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Would you call the roll, please?
Vice President King,
Yes.
Commissioner McBroom,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Aye.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes. Next item on the agenda is our next scheduled meeting, which is special meeting of the Board of Park Commissioners, November 17th, 2020, 6:30 PM, hosted remotely from the Administration Building Boardroom. Next item on our agenda is executive session.
Move to adjourn to executive session to discuss personnel under section 2C1 and pending litigation under section 2C11 of the Open Meetings Act.
And we'll also have discussion under the, about the tabled item.
Table item 5.5.
There's a second?
Second.
Motion is second. Bridget, call the roll, please.
Vice President King,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
Yes.
Commissioner Egan,
Aye.
Commissioner Banner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBroom,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes. Okay, now we'll go into executive session. Commissioner Egan, do you want Commissioner Stanish in the beginning part of that meeting to talk about the item that we pulled?
She can stay. It's not directly related to her.
Okay.
It's from a previous life.
Okay,
And the breakout room, make sure that-
So I haven't done this before, so I'm not sure.
just go with, we're gonna move you into the breakout room.
Okay.
The commissioner.
Okay, so. let's
And then
say
if you want to, we'll keep the main meeting open.
Okay, and then put up the,
Yep,
okay,
yep.
okay, so. Yeah.
Yep.
Manually,
Yeah. Okay, so create. And then assign, I'm assuming.
Hey, Brad,
Yes,
as we're organizing this, are there any staff that don't need to remain?
yeah, I'll let them know that they're free to go. So,
Okay.
All right, that is everybody, right? Yeah. Right,
That's good.
Wait for Brad to come back and then we'll convene.
so. no, Or do you?
What, Brad? I don't know, maybe, no one will online.
Yeah, so hit add room, right? I haven't done.
Open all, please.
Open all rooms, okay. So they hit join, I'm assuming?
Yeah.
You want to go now or what?
Well, when we get into executive session, you'll need to go, Omar, but I need you to be in your office so I can have you come back and do the business afterwards.
Gotcha. Okay.
Brad is back, so I believe we have everybody. Bridget and Omar, are we set to move forward?
You've already been moved. You're in the
Okay,
room.
we're good, ready.
Okay. I'd like to call to order the executive session of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners today.
Okay, we're ready.
We're all set?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to reconvene the regular meeting of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners, November 12th, 2020. Time is 8:39. Go around the room, introduce ourselves. Mike Riley,
Mike King,
Josh McBroom.
Rich, unmute, please.
Rich Janner.
Bill,
Billy again?
Brad Wilson.
Sue Stanish,
Rita,
Kirk Price.
Bridget Cup,
Omar Sandoval.
okay, we do have one item that was discussed in executive session that we need to take action on. Vice President King,
move to approve consent agenda item 5.5.
second,
motion is second. Hey, for the discussion, yes, Commissioner Egan.
Based on past performance, I do not approve of Sikich being our auditor. I will be voting no.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Bridget, take the roll, please.
Vice President King,
Yes.
Commissioner Todd,
yes,
Commissioner Egan,
No,
Commissioner Janner,
Yes.
Commissioner McBroom,
Yes.
President Riley.
Yes. Next is entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn the November 12th, 2020 regular meeting.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
all right.
Thank you all.
Night.
Thank you. Have a good night.